Hello everyone. Welcome to the last part of Module 4. So as we've seen the trajectory of this activity, we started with a two-way table that was completely filled out. We built that into something we would complete from an empty table, and then gave the students some practice with those. But what if instead of a filled out table or even an empty table, there was really just the problem statement itself? So in this activity, we've prompted a little bit with the tables being shown on the page. What if that wasn't there? So part 4 allows you and your class to work on a traditionally hard probability problem, one that has more than just two vertical and two horizontal options. So in this one, there are a lot of different options based on the race and ethnicity of the person living in California. Now we want to get down to the goal where we can answer a question about the chances that the person is Hispanic if we know that the person is living in poverty. And that's the question we may want to kind of wonder about. Now the other question is, what proportion of Californians are living in poverty? And this is going to be one where we have to fill out a table that isn't created. Now the hope is that the students will have learned from what we've done before and say, well, maybe even though I don't have something to really base this one on because it looks more complicated, that I could start with a table and kind of build everything out in the table and see if that does everything I need. The goal here is to work as a team to find the solution. So engage the class as much as possible, but try not to give too much away. Let them lead the charge here. It's a really fun way to end this activity. As you look back upon this activity, there's a lot of goals that we had here. Do you think after doing this activity that your students would be able to calculate and interpret probabilities using that hypothetical 1000 or even the hypothetical 10,000 approach? Think about, is this a practical way to present the ideas that might take less class time? Remember, traditional probability does tend to take much longer than this modified approach. And do you think the important ideas of probability, especially, remember we're going to build on it later, conditional probabilities, is that going to be less of a stumbling block now that we're using this approach as opposed to that formula-based approach? I hope you can see that this different approach doesn't change the questions that you can ask. You can still ask the exact same questions you had before. The only difference is you may not have to go through a lot of substantive build-up to the formulas, explaining where the formula comes from, why we need it, and instead can get to the heart of the issue and really identify the concepts that are critical in a much more efficient way. This wraps up the What Are the Chances module. We do have a wrap-up component here for you, and we're really glad that you've been with us on this journey. If this is your last module and you've completed all other 4, you are eligible for the course completion badge. And once again, thanks for being with us on this journey. All right, off you go.